Welcome guys to the second episode of the Trading Basics playlist. In the first video, we discussed why money management, risk management, and stop loss are the most important concepts in trading and why should new traders pay close attention to them. And in this video, we're gonna dive into the basics of technical analysis and learn the two fundamental concepts in technical analysis, which are supports and resistances. In simple words, support is an area and not an exact price. It's an area where price usually stops falling because there are many buyers buying there. For example, we can see here in the Bitcoin monthly chart, this is the monthly time frame, meaning each candle is 1 month. We can see that the price kept falling here, and here it found an area where price was supported. We can highlight it with this rectangle, and we can see that buyers here started supporting the price and prevented the price to keep falling down. So that is support. And resistance is exactly the opposite. It's where usually prices stop rising because there are sellers and they are starting to sell. For example, we can see that here we have an resistance area where price was touched twice and it got rejected twice. So now we know what are supports and resistances. But what happens when price comes to these zones and areas? There are three events that could happen when price comes close to these areas or zones. The first one is the price getting rejected or getting supported. For example, we can see here that the price was rising and coming up and came to this area, which was a resistance area, and it got rejected, meaning that it touched it and then it dumped and fell. But in other case, we can see that price came here to the support area, which was made here, and it got supported and it rise to the upside. The second event that could happen is range or pause. Here we can see that, let me highlight it for you. Here we can see that the price came to this resistance area for the third time, but it ranged and it paused for several months and frustrated a lot of traders. And the last event that could happen is the resistance area or the support area getting broken. And here we can see that after the consolidation and after the range we saw in these months, the price broke above this area and the candle closed above this area zone, and we can see that it actually pumped and rose a lot after breaking this resistance area. So now that we saw different reactions from the market in these areas, let's break down the time frame and go to lower time frames to see this in action and draw some support and resistant areas. So we go to the 4-hour time frame. This time frame means that each candle is 4 hours. I will explain candles in a different video in future videos. So here we can see that in TradingView we have a tool called horizontal line. Here we can see that the price came to this area 2 times and it got supported 2 times. This area is a support area, and opposed to that we can see that there is a resistance area over here, and that price came and touched 3 times and failed to break it. In this case, we can see that buyers and sellers are failing to break the support and resistance area. When this happens, usually a range happens, a trading range happens, meaning that price stays in a fixed price range. For example, we can see here that price is between 84k and 94k. Buyers and sellers are keep getting rejected and failing to break these areas. But this is not always the case. Let's see other cases. Here we can see that price had an support area here, and after reacting to it and getting supported to it and rising, we can see that after it came close to the resistance area above it, it got rejected from it, and when it came down and fell, it actually broke this support area after the third touch of it. Here we can see that the second touch it also reacted to it, and then in the third touch it broke this area and broke this trading range above it. So this was an example of price breaking the support area. Now let's see the price breaking the resistance area. For example, here we can see that price came and touched this area for 4 times and it failed to break into it. But after breaking it and closing above this area, it pumped heavily and went to the Bitcoin's all-time high price. The last thing I want to cover is that the higher the time frame, the stronger these areas will become. For example, a monthly support is far more important and stronger than a 4-hour support or resistance. That's because usually whales or institutions are making their decisions on weekly and monthly candles, and they count 1 hours or even 1 day time frames as noise, and it doesn't matter to them at all. And this is it for this video. This will have a part 2 for resistance and support. There are some other concepts I should provide you. Hope you found this useful. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like the video.